The UN estimates that by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish.
It's estimated that 100 million tons of plastic are generated globally each year.
Local authorities have been forced to close beaches due to mounds of plastic rubbish.
Hello, I'm Tammy Ven Dange, an executive turned social entrepreneur. It's clear that Mother Nature has a plastics problem, but I think it's time to quit talking about the problem. Instead, let's talk about the solutions. This is a business podcast with an environmental mission. And as your host of the Plastics Revolution, I'm going to chat with the innovators, change makers, and fellow entrepreneurs who are leading the way in fighting plastic waste. Along the way, we'll also share tips and practical ideas so that you too can be part of the solution. This is the Plastics Revolution. In this episode of Plastics Revolution, I chat again with Damien and Martin from Green Caffeen to get an update during this COVID-19 crisis. In this show, we talk about the safety of their program, how it's been impacted during this time, as well as how you can help your favorite cafes by saving them money. I hope you enjoy this episode of Plastics Revolution with the guys from Green Caffeen. Damien and Martin, welcome back to Plastics Revolution.
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy.
It's good to see you guys. How's Kiama right now?
Kiama's a lot better now than what it was in the last 6 to 8 weeks. We're just starting to see a few green shoots, as we're calling them, a few promising signs. And if you're going to be locked down in isolation, Kiama's a very, very nice part of the world to do so.
Well, I imagine that your business has been impacted far more than a lot of others because it's so attached to the hospitality industry. And also the concern that a lot of people have had around using a reusable cup. I know that a lot of cafes quit using them probably for the last 2 months, and that even included the Green Caffeen cups. But I know that you guys have been trying to put some things in place to help cafes feel more comfortable, and also the people that are using the cups themselves to feel more comfortable that everything is good and safe.
Yeah, Tammy, for sure. It was an interesting sort of 6 to 8 weeks. Everybody else has gone through the same learning curves. I think Martin and I have continually referred to our business plan and tried to look up the pandemic episode. What do you do in a pandemic in your business plan? And we haven't come across that page just yet. We've had to make it up as we go and with everybody else. But yeah, look, it's been really exciting. We've taken a bit of time to stop and look and listen and learn and work with our partnering cafes and customers to try and get reusable cups back on the agenda and keep up the good work that we started about 18 months ago.
Well, I tell you what, the bins around here are just absolutely chockers with cups right now. And it does my head in because I can see them spilling into the lake because obviously there's a lot more cups than normal. And you guys put in a green card process not too long ago, which I saw that at least one cafe around my neighborhood went ahead and said, oh yeah, it's safe to do this now. So we'll only use Green Caffeen cups. Can you talk a little bit more about what that program is? Because I'm sure people will continue to rely on that.
Yeah, I'll just sort of go back two steps, Tammy, if we can. We saw when COVID-19 first started to raise its head in Australia, we were rushed off our feet. We had cafes start banning reusable cups, the BYO personal cups, but they all started seeing Green Caffeen as a really good, clean, safe, viable sort of system to offer reusables to their customers. So we had Martin will talk a bit more on that, but we saw, sort of some of our peak number of cafe registrations in the 2 or 3 weeks when COVID first came out. And that was really exciting for us. But unfortunately, most of those cafes then actually shut their doors and went into a state of lockdown. So we're now sort of working with them to get back on the table and start sort of serving coffee again. But I'll let Martin explain the green card and what we did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tammy, basically all he wanted to do was just reassure probably the customers that walked into a cafe that the Green Caffeen system was a safe and clean system to use. And we just sort of wanted to probably explain to the customer the process of the cup. So once that cup goes into the cafe, where it goes, how it gets cleaned, and how it comes back out ready to be used for the next customer. So what we did, we sort of, if you look around, a lot of the big businesses really promoted that no contact push, and I think it was just to reassure people that, it was still safe to touch things and to, get takeaway and stuff like that. So we're just trying to really push that message to say, hey, guys, look, the disease is in the person. Really, it's not so much the cup or what gets handled. And we just wanted to show how, I suppose, cleanliness a Green Caffeen system is.
So what are the elements of someone who went through the proper cleaning process? Like when you say that they have a green card because they've gone through that certification program, what does that include in their cleaning process?
It just goes to show that any cafe that has in-house dining options has a certain standard that they have to clean their dining, in-house dining utensils. And that can be anywhere from using a special type of cleaning liquid or getting a dishwasher over a certain amount of temperature degrees-wise. So we just really wanted to push that these aren't just getting rinsed under a cold water tap at the back of the shop. They are getting sanitised correctly to a standard that's normally either set by a New South Wales government or the state government or a local council.
It was, I'll just jump in there, Tammy. It was really interesting to find out when talking to a lot of our partner cafes what the concerns were. And it wasn't so much that the cup was sanitised and clean and ready for the consumer. It was more that the cup was coming in to the cafe themselves. So what we wanted to do was to work with our cafes to actually protect their workers. So we set up some contactless handling and some drop-off points and some systems that ensured that the staff weren't sort of touching the cup every day, every hour, every sort of minute one of these cups came in, that there was a collection point so they could get themselves with some gloves and a mask and put them straight into a dishwasher without actually having to touch the cups themselves once they'd sort of been in the public domain. And then from there, it's a normal process because the cafes always wash and sanitise the cup and store them ready for the next customer. It was just the fact that, how do we limit the risk of, contact and then contamination from the cup coming into the cafe before it then leaves again clean, ready to go.
Yeah, I saw that in the cafes that they'd have a little bucket and you just stick your cup in there after you came into the coffee shop. So that was only one cafe, though. I imagine that some of the other ones weren't quite using the same program. So it's great to know that the normal processes that you guys have in place would be just as safe right now. It was just more or less protecting the cafe employees. So that's good to know. Now, last time we spoke, you guys were in the middle of all sorts of exciting news. And we mentioned at the time that you had just secured a contract here in the ACT. And then you had also had a new cup that you were about to release. And I know that's on the marketplace. Do you want to go ahead and talk about all the new things that you've been up to since our last conversation?
Yeah, well, Tammy, we've got our new cup, and the new cups have been in operation now since December, which has been really exciting. And I think when we first spoke to you, we would have had about 40 cafes start the launch in the ACT, and that's now well over 100.
Wow.
Obviously, we're talking sort of pre-COVID numbers. I mean, these guys are all just getting back on their feet in the next couple of days and weeks, and we're working with them to do that. But yeah, it's taken off, and Canberra's now the epicenter of the Green Caffeen model at the moment across Australia. It's just growing, it's thriving, and it's doing really, really well. I think the cups themselves, so we're really, really proud. We wanted to bring a sort of circular economy, a circular approach, a zero waste approach to Green Caffeen. So these cups are actually now made from recycled PET.
Oh, great.
So they actually take a waste, turn it into a resource, which is the cup, and a valuable reusable. And then those cups go round and round and round, which actually eliminates waste and helps people refuse the waste in the first place. And then from there, those cups are turned back into Green Caffeen cups again with a zero waste end of life, and they just go round and round and round now doing their waste-saving magic.
And that's actually manufactured here in Australia too, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Yes, we're very proud of that. All our materials sourced locally here in Australia and manufactured here in Australia in our factories. So, yeah, that's something we're very, very proud of, and probably no other alternative. And post-COVID, it's great that we can support local manufacturing and business as well.
Mm. So how many cafes do you have signed up now for your program?
For Australia-wide?
Yeah, Australia-wide.
I think it'd be over 600.
Wow.
It'd be 600 active prior to COVID. I know not a lot, but a few of them have sort of shut their doors during the worst stages, some of those restrictions.
Sure.
I think there's, in Canberra alone, I think we're up to maybe 115 cafes.
Wow.
So really, really good push in Canberra. And like Damien said, Canberra just seems to be like its own little community where everyone seems to get it. We get some really good figures daily from Canberra, some really good cafes that are pushing the green message. So it's really, really, I suppose it's probably what's kept us sort of kept their heads high a little bit during all of this is that Canberra still seems to be just chipping away and getting some good numbers and saving some cups.
Yay, we get credit for something.
Oh, no, there's heaps of credit for Canberra. Some of the best cafes we have actually grown their numbers of users. So they've actually grown their Green Caffeen active users in a period of time where people were actually saying no to reusables.
Oh, wow.
And we've done some Instagram stories and some chats with those guys just to sort of see how they've done it. And it's been remarkable that they just sort of say, I've got a great community. We bring a really good product that's super simple to use, and our customers support it. And I think that's what's kept us propped up, knowing that we've got a really, really good product that people are very happy to use and see it as a safe way to be sustainable.
Wow, that's incredible. I did not guess that just by looking at the number of takeaway cups I see in the bins right now. I did not have that idea that things were actually getting a little bit better in some parts. So that's fantastic news. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners?
We did have some really good promising things happening pre-COVID-19 restrictions, and we're really hoping we can release them in the next couple of months. I definitely think we will. So I'd probably like to keep in the dark a little bit, Tammy, but yeah, it's really, really promising where the sort of the industry is going. It's probably been hampered a little bit with this COVID, but it's definitely the direction that we want to see it. And I think some people are really, like yourself, fed up with just seeing plastic cups everywhere. And we've got some good things happening. It's just a little bit of time. It's just probably given us about a 3-month holiday in the middle of it all, which may be a good thing.
Yeah, I imagine it wasn't much of a holiday, though. So well done, guys. It's so good to hear a good news story through all this and the fact that more people were willing to take on the Green Caffeen Challenge. So that's fantastic news to hear.
Tammy, can I just jump in for 1 second? I've got some cool things that we've been working on. I'll just quickly share with you if I can, if you've got 5 seconds.
Yes.
What we want to do is put a bit of a call to action out there, because a lot of the cafes that we've been dealing with, like we've got 1,000 cafes sitting on our books, 600 of them active, but we've been speaking to a lot of them and they're all running very, very close to the win. So all their profit margins have been affected. They're all, significantly down on their turnover. So we're really asking people to get in and support their local cafe, their local business, keep them afloat. And one of the great things that Green Caffeen is that a cafe is actually more profitable when you drink your coffee out of a Green Caffeen cup than they are if you drink it out of a takeaway cup. And I think people, when they stop and prop and listen to the numbers that we've got, like the average takeaway coffee drinker will consume $72 worth of packaging, of which a cafe has to pay for in 12 months.
Wow.
So if you can help your cafe by reducing that $72 worth of packaging by using a Green Caffeen cup, not only can you get them more profitable and back up on their feet, quicker, but you can actually save the planet and reduce the impact of single-use coffee cups at the same time. So we're asking people to really get out there, support your local cafe, and if they haven't got Green Caffeen already, give them a little tap on the shoulder and say, do you want to be more sustainable and more profitable? We'd love to work with them.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think anyone realized that the packaging was so expensive and how much you guys can help them save. The small businesses that are literally hurting right now need every dime. So that was really encouraging. And $72 per person. Is that what you're saying?
$72 per person. It's based on 500 cups. The average takeaway consumer for coffee in Australia has 500 cups. I'm above average and I have well more than that as far as coffees per day. But if you think about that, that's 7.5 kilos of plastic, single-use plastic cups that go straight to landfill.
Wow.
Or it's $72 worth of packaging that your local cafe has to buy so you can enjoy your drink for 2 minutes and then put it straight in the bin to landfill.
Wow. Okay, well, those numbers really add up in so many different ways, don't they? I mean, the municipal councils, they save money because they're not having to empty the rubbish bins nearly as often. And the environment's better off because it's not going to landfill. And in the case of, in my neighborhood, it's not falling into the lake, hurting animals and such. But also the cafe owners will also save some money if people would ask for the Green Caffeen rather than a normal paper plastic cup.
That's it. You've got it.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does.
All right, guys. I know you got a lot on, so I will let you go. Thanks, guys. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thanks for joining me today on this podcast. If you want to see the links or to review any information we spoke about today, then check out our show notes on this channel or on our website, plasticsrevolution.com. If you found anything interesting or helpful at all, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to our show and to tell others. Stay Stay tuned next week as I chat to another innovator, changemaker, or fellow entrepreneur who is leading the plastics revolution. This is Tammy Ven Dange. Be kind to animals and Mother Nature.